blessed. We just thank the Father today. And, so many things to be grateful for. And we should really sound grateful. We shouldn't just sound, we should be, we should think it, we should speak our gratitude all day, every day, because it's just good to do. Letting the Father know that you recognize his faithfulness. You hear people crying and they want some empathy and sympathy. And I understand when we go through some real traumatic experiences, but some people just really self-absorbed. And if you think too much on everything that's going wrong with you, then you already know you're gonna find your place. You're gonna find yourself in a low place. And so in order to show gratitude, we don't look at all of our, situations that could be different, because we all could have something different going on. But I guarantee you, if you find some great things, I talked about this, wonderful things to think on, open your mouth and giving y'all praise, not the fake stuff. How you doing? Oh, I'm, walking on cloud nine, loving the Lord, smelling like angel, cake or whatever, all this extra stuff. Let's just be about his word. Like, bless him for real. I'm just grateful. I'm glad. I'm filled with joy. I feel like being kind. I feel like blessing today. I wonder how many people will ever say that. I am healed. I trust him. He delivers me. I'm feeling good to be, that Yah is trustworthy and that I trust him. Hallelujah. I thank him that, he helps me out, that I'm never walking in deceit, that he encourages me and gives me faith. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling joy. Well, I'm feeling peace. Hallelujah. I'm feeling peace. Yeah. Gentleness. I'm feeling love. How many people say that? You feeling love? All right. Nevertheless, I came on here because quietly these are my feelings. But I just want to share this. Um, and I hope that this gets out. Um, and I'll try to be real brief. And I can't tell you if it's gonna be nice and soft message and flowery and fluffy and you know, look like the Skittles and colors. No, I can't tell you that. I know I'm a little rough around the edges, but those that can handle it. Like I got a raw pastor, or one that leads Yah's flock, and he don't pull no punches. He ain't weak, and if it's something you doing, he ain't got no problem calling those things out. And so I don't see it as a bad thing at first. I could think about some people that got a little offended by it, but then I realized that some people just don't want anything to be cut off of them. They enjoy having that extra fat or overly, when they full of the word. They don't want to hold back nothing. They don't want to be disciplined. They don't want to be chastened. They just want to do what they want to do. So yeah, they gonna have some problems. Of course, those that want to do what they want to do. All right, this is the thing. There are a lot of landlord owners, and I'm not talking about the slumlords today. That's not what's on my heart to talk about. I'm talking about individuals that are renting property from those that own property, signing agreements that you will pay your portion and that you will upkeep and keep the conditions of the property in the state that it was prior to you moving in. Now, again, we're not talking about slumlords, but we're talking about individuals that, and I'm just gonna put it plain. At this point, I'm like, I don't really care about the fact that somebody getting mad and don't like me. If I'm wrong, then email me or something. We could talk about it. I can't say that I would change my point of view. But we have a lot of individuals that have been helped out by the taxpayers' dollars, the economy. We know what those are. You might have a housing voucher, um, tax credit vouchers, um, income vouchers, housing vouchers, whatever. Um, I didn't want to just go ahead and say, we'll just say certain sanctions, okay? Sections. And so they give you these monies that you will go and find you a place to stay. Now, this is the problem or this is how I'm going to try to word this. Like, let me be quick. Let me just get to the point. When monies have been given, and we're talking about this portion of help or assistance being given, you going on to somebody's property, and individuals are receiving assistance and help where you most likely couldn't have afforded it by yourself, or maybe you could, and whatever you saying that you can't afford, you have help. Okay, so here it is, taxpayer dollars are paying for this, because this money ain't just coming from your gov. This is coming from taxpayers dollars. You get these vouchers, we're fine. Okay, we want you to have a place to live. But I think the bottom line is we have to really like start being accountable for some stuff. And I'm not saying I'm talking about whoever getting it, okay? Accountable. When you receive anything from anybody, shouldn't any type of gift be treated with some type of respect? Shouldn't you be more courteous, more humble, more appreciative? I'm trying to understand how you are given certain amenities, help, and you go in on somebody's property. Not just that it's the person's property, but the Most High allowed you to get your spot. And you come in one way to leave out another way. See, when you was down and out and you wanted somebody to understand your situation, and somebody gives you a chance, and you don't need to be concerned about whether Section 8 paid the money. It wasn't your money. So they pay for you to stay somewhere. And because something runs out or you can't pay, or for whatever reason, the contract is now questionable. Maybe there's a possible breach. Maybe you're getting evicted. Maybe the person asks you to move out within so much time. For whatever the reasons are, the relationship was broken. Why do people act like they got a problem with adhering to? If somebody asks you to leave, whether right or wrong, and they get it done the right way or whatever, it's still their property at the end of the day. And I know everything ain't always fair. I know some might have lost their jobs, some the money stopped coming. I don't know. But I know about the fact that a lot of people received stimulus money and didn't do anything to pay and help out these people, these landlords. And if you couldn't afford to help them out, you didn't come out and say, hey, we'll mow the grass, we'll, clean the property up, we'll do something to earn our keep. You didn't do anything. Again, I'm not talking about slumlords. I'm not saying that you have a right to do anything you want to do there. But we're not talking about that right now. I'm talking about able-bodied people living in a pretty decent conditions. And here's a list of things, not limited to, that people do. You'll bring in your big old Rockwallers and pit bulls when they told you that you cannot bring this here, but you do it anyway. Strike. They tell you that you can't have nobody living there that ain't on the lease, but you bring in John anyway. Strike. They tell you that you cannot have illegal substances, but yet John and all his boys is smoking it up, bringing the fog in. I don't care that you at work or whatever, you let them up in there. So technically, it's like you sitting on the couch getting high, but you do it anyway. They tell you no vandalizing the property, but you got mad and let the water run over, or you left the house and stuff was on the stove, or you and your man or whomever got in a fist fight and he decided to punch holes in the wall. Nevertheless, tearing up somebody's property. They have a whole lot of things that they ask that you do. And they're not hard to follow because we all got guidelines and things that we have to follow. Well, what kind of person are you that when the relationship goes south, you turn and tear up somebody's property? Don't you know you reap what you sow? And these things shall follow you. Hmm. See, the righteous have grace and mercy following them all the days of their lives. But what's following you? And you wonder why you got several evictions, several repossessions, several relationships, illegitimate children. Not always. We ain't talking about you. If you've been living peacefully and you do your part and you upkeep things and you're doing what y'all told you to, ain't nobody talking to you. Who I'm talking to, they know. You don't tear up people's property. You don't let other people come in and tear up people's property. You don't do anything you want to do. And this is the thing. And then the little stuff you could do, you won't. You won't clean nothing. You won't wipe nothing down. You put anything in the toilet, the people got to come and always gut stuff and route it out. What is wrong with people? You get a house by a voucher, you won't even cut the grass, but you sharp. A lot of people leave out, they got $300 nails on their fingers. That's not everybody. You got lace front wigs, you dress to the nine. Your rent is only 30 or 40 or $50. And you're somewhere where you should not be, doing something you should not be doing. And then how is it that you can't pay the rent when 30 some dollars ain't been paid in 6 months? You still under the you're less, much less than the standard living. But you can go out, you can date, you can buy cars, you get tax money, you get over six something thousand dollars and won't even pay the rent. Then you want to talk and cuss the landlord out. You got people hanging all out your apartment. Folks is getting high. Dogs barking, stuff tore up, windows broke out, screens broke out. You don't want to upkeep nothing. A bunch of raggedy junk cars all up in the yards. It's like it's too much. Nobody owes you anything. And the moment they say the money ain't coming through or they want you to pay for some you damage, you are ready to beat up the apartment managers. You ready to act a fool. And wait, why you always got parties every weekend? All your folks, why they all got to come over to an apartment where it's only two parking spaces per tenant and take up everybody's parking space and then your hoodlum relatives want to fight folks that's been living there for 10 and plus years? You got a problem every time somebody say it's time for you to go. But the issue really is you not easy to live with. You got a nasty attitude. You propping the door in the middle of the night so people can come in and out of the building, but you don't think about other people's safety. Just because you want somebody to come in your apartment all night long, that's you. Why are you putting other people's lives at risk with your reckless and erratic behavior? See, people keep talking about, oh, let me tell you something. I don't like none of these presidents. I'm just going to be honest. And when people ask me, do I vote? No, I do not. Well, I used to. And then when they say, well, the slaves and they did all these things to make sure we voted, look, they did what they needed to do for their era. We did as much as we could do here. If you do, good and proud for you. I'm talking about me. Let me tell you where I vote. With my hands lifted or on my knees talking to the Father. And I try to stay out of those type of arenas because he told me to come up out the world. So I mean, be in it, but not of it. That's just me. Moving on past that. People get mad when they ready to hold back certain dollars from all these different resources and non-for-profit organizations and stuff. Well, let's be real. A lot of these non-for-profit organizations, all y'all did was take money and you didn't produce nothing. Don't let me get the calling some names. You accepted dollars and didn't do nothing. You set your butt up in a whole office in our communities and you did nothing for the people unless they was your relatives and your cousins, friend them. A lot of folks, and you know it. And then when you get these vouchers, you helped out your friends, and they look con artist crook friends that would pay you extra money, and you gave them apartments that were low income when they was making 60 something $1,000 a year or more. They get to stay somewhere for $400 and $600 when people that really need the housing can't, because you got all your family up in there. See, these are real conversations, yet we want to talk about all this other little stuff about, your dream and your best you. And look, we living in a real world. So this is the part I'm going to talk about. We need to do better. And then we wonder why our lives are not blessed, because you under a curse and you still living as such. You cannot do these things to other people. Mankind is still created by the Most High, whether they live or not. Yeah, Satan got his children, but we ain't even supposed to cater to them in no kind of way. But even if he's a slumlord, don't give you the right to go in and tear up somebody else's stuff. And then when they ask you to move, you breaking out windows, let your kids write all over the wall with crayons. Some of y'all, the people, y'all done moved out of these folks' places, their apartments and their houses that they rented out to you, and the damage that you've done is unspeakable. I know some people that had property and asked a young lady to move out that was doing all of the things that I named at the beginning of the broadcast, and she waited till one Saturday and went over there and set the place on fire and left out of the state. Well, we live here, and ain't nobody gonna go look for her wherever she went. She burnt down their stuff. Landlords make the mistake of not getting any IDs, some of you private owners, and no social security numbers. So you can't even track back. But I want to reassure you this, that nobody gets away with nothing. The Father says vengeance is his. So for all you that think that you can just tear up somebody's stuff because you don't like that they ask you to move out when you know how you were, people tired of lending out their property to you, and you barely paying, or if you get in Section 8, you think you owe something more than what you're owed. Nobody owes you anything. You mad if this ain't right, you calling, you wearing the landlord down to the bone, and then you're behind get a little money when they cut off everything and got that stimulus money, nobody can find you. Y'all taking advantage of people. Taking advantage of people. One man showed, and literally his stuff was so torn up. His place, I mean, his whole apartment was so full of trash and garbage. It's going to take him probably 6 months to get all that cleaned out. Mattresses. The person didn't get evicted. They moved out and left trash everywhere. Looked like they opened up bags of garbage and just began to shake it all over the place. Bags and laundry detergent buckets and all kind of stuff was everywhere. I'm going to say this, and I'm getting ready to conclude. When we get government assistance of any kind, you know, I don't knock people for needing help. We all need, we've all needed something. It might not have been that you got that kind of assistance. Maybe you was on maternity leave, disability, whatever. And you may say, well, I worked. Okay, I hear you. But for those, some of y'all ain't worked nowhere. You've been receiving assistance forever for every little thing. And some of you really could work. You become accustomed to it now. And you probably wouldn't even know what to do if all of this was cut down tomorrow. As I was saying, these presidents and stuff, a lot of them coming in to cut off that fat meat where people was just getting over and getting by. And then when they start cutting stuff, they a terrible president where they was cool before you knew they was gonna do that. You voted them right on up in there because they said they was going to give you a stimulus check. Well, now that you got your stimulus check, now isn't that something? They never let you get up It ain't like they kept giving you the money on one end and then giving you an extra bit of money. They cut off one thing and then baited you with a different type of assistance, if you will. You get this and you feel self-entitled. You got people walking around with the nastiest attitudes. One thing missed, they calling in, cussing folks out, and you ain't paid a dime for nothing. You don't do anything you supposed to do. You just bring in anything off the street. And then the first thing a lot of you the ladies do, girls, ladies, young, it could be all ages because I'm finding that silly women are ranging in all kind of age groups now, especially now. She ain't baking apple pies and teaching nobody nothing no more. Now they half dressed, trying to, pop it and drop it and lock it, all of that. Look, this stuff don't make no sense. Don't nobody owe you anything. You don't have no right to cuss nobody out. You ain't got no right to demand nothing. Don't no one owe you anything. And you ladies, as soon as you get a place to stay, you ain't had nowhere. You was staying on your mama's couch, your cousins, futon. You done stayed everywhere, begged most high, went to church and did everything, begged him to give you a place to stay. They finally call your name and your number. You get the place, and the first thing you do is move in some ashy, lazy, able-bodied man. Now he laying up on the couch, you out doing whatever you doing. He laying up in there doing nothing. How you gonna bring somebody cursed up in your house? Y'all bless you, and then you turn around and bring this man. I don't have a problem with you having a man, but I'm kind of curious why I don't know. Why are these men not bringing nothing but themselves and a whole bunch of problems? They don't even these women, you buying the groceries, you providing the housing, you take your check, your tax check and buy a vehicle, you buying his clothes. What do you need him there to do again? Father another child? I might sound biased. I might sound, you know, I don't know. Like maybe you feel like I'm stereotyping. Maybe I am. But I don't think I'm too far off from the truth. The first thing y'all do is bring some ashy man up in there. I don't understand that. I just don't. And he don't even try. You make him like a castrated male. He ain't walking around here like a man with some sense and wanting to do something, even with his hands or receiving some help or receiving some benefit to some things like, under, on the back end. Mm-mm. He ain't doing nothing. He won't even get up and start your car in the morning. Won't shovel off the sidewalk right in front of where you gonna walk at. Won't you look, you can't trust him watching your kids. I don't understand. I just don't. And then when guys get a place, they don't move in a woman. Uh-uh. I've never seen it. I told you I worked in an apartment complex sector, and they also, in all of the public assistance and all of that. And yeah, we do have cricket landlords. I've worked with them too. They gonna put all their family up in there, and folks that really need some, they have no problem turning them away. But men don't bring in no woman. When he get a Section 8 or a government or assistant housing, you know what he bring in? His boys or his dogs, like real dogs, chained up somewhere, and folks saying they hen dogs. He know he ain't supposed to have them in there, or he gonna bring in his bag of illegal drugs. And then that's what he gonna be selling out of his apartment, and he gonna lose it and be walking on the street or back in mom and them house, or looking for some place to break in or people to hang out that break into other people's homes. It's like people, and I ain't saying just us, because it's not just us. We need to lift our mentality. We need to lift our mental. We shouldn't still be thinking along these lines of just getting over and, having things our way and, I deserve this and greed and selfishness. Where is all this coming from? Who told you that you own anything, that you earn anything? If somebody allow you to rent in good faith, you don't need to worry about what section 8 giving them. Be grateful you have a place to stay. And you got people living up. These girls, look, these women are giving up sex for housing. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Landlords can't put them out because you didn't compromise a business relationship. Oh, I know. I've seen it all. From maintenance slipping over there so she can get her stuff, you know, fixed quicker. And then when something go wrong, you can't stand up for yourself because you've compromised. See, these are things that people don't like to talk about, but these are things that really happen. Man, you got housing, you can't even go over there and collect the rent from her because when she baits you in with a couple of, you know, midnight taps or whatever, and that's how she paying for her rent is with her body. Then when she pulled back and say, I ain't paying no rent, who you gonna tell? Because now she can blackmail you. She got something against you. Or she gonna go to your family, or she gonna go to Section 8, or you gonna go to court and she gonna let them know that y'all had these conditional rent payments. We had better grow up. We had better grow up. I have nothing more to say other than the Father says you shall reap what you sow. And I'm seeing people reaping a whole lot of stuff they've sown. But some of us choose to live in peace and walk according to Yah's blessing and grace. And it has sustained us in the most craziest of times. The peace that we feel, those that know what I'm talking about, is unspeakable. You have where you can afford things, you can do things, not to be pleasured of this world, but if you ever are needed, if you ever need it, you can answer the call. Not many people can do that because they too busy calling and they on the receiving, needing end. Thank the Most High, Yah, that you are on the end, that you can be a blessing. And more than anything, He has been a blessing. Yah has been a blessing to you. And you literally can stand in you can stand in complete peace, even with the storm raging all around you. That's why it pays to do things decent and in order. Have a heart and a spirit of gratitude and watch the Most High bless you in immeasurable ways. Get up and be like, I'm so grateful. When they say, you okay? I am well. I can't complain about nothing. What you think about these mandates? I don't think anything. Nothing about that. My mind is on pure things, lovely. I was just thinking about a beautiful song or a wonderful bird in the trees or the sun coming out, the shine on my skin, the countenance of him, the peace that he's giving. Oh, hallelujah. If you need peace, if you really need it, for some that feel like their house is not really a sanctuary right now, you can go and get a hotel room and just enjoy a relaxing hot shower, the television if you choose to, your plush king size bed. You ain't got to clean up nothing. Put a couple of waters in the refrigerator, couple of little snacks, and stay one night. You able to do that. But some people, because not in all cases, but they live in drought places, chaos, fear, oh man, sickness. Why? Because they treat either people wrong, they are not grateful, or they don't live according to the book. It's such a blessing to have, man, or to be representatives of the Most High. It's a blessing when His mark is upon you. How do you know? the way you deal with things. He didn't say nothing about making everything pleasant on the face of the earth for us to be okay. Like, okay, I'm gonna make it real comfortable so you can be okay. No, but he can make you comfortable in it. His peace and his shalom, a good book. How many people literally just read some poetry? You know, poetry is nothing but creative words that describe. Creative. I'm not talking about none of that pro-black poetry or harsh poetry or it's so abstract you don't know what they talking about. There are poetry that represent nature, beauty, or the love of the Most High. They're there. Read it. I don't listen to gospel music with too many words because stuff has been so compromised now. It can have the most angelic beat, but when you listen to the words, it's contrary from the words of Yah, his book, his Torah. But it's just something about an instrumental sometimes. Just everything about it, how it all comes together in complete harmony. He wants us to feel or be in peace more than a feeling. It's an existence, a state of being that surpasses all understanding. It's people that have been sick. I have been myself and didn't even know how sick I was because I was cradled in the arms of the Most High. How about when you're in a tight situation? You don't even recognize it because the Father is sustaining you. It's almost like just because the walls are caving in, it seemed like it or the roof is falling, the Father has his hands up or he's made it where the rod is lifted. It don't get to fall in upon you. Even when it's raining, you can come out and have on the most colorful little boots where other people won't even think about the rain. They see you come and be like, boy, them some bright orange boots or mint green or neon, you know, meaning that your joy should like captivate others, your peace. You're like, wait a minute, I feel scared and nervous. How you feel like this? When I was on the prayer line, I remember people saying, I feel so afraid. I just can't sleep. I can't rest. What's going to happen to us? You're going to worry yourself in a grave if you do that. And that's what they want you to do. See, we die to ourselves in the faith of killing off the flesh and stop trying to handle it on our own. But the world tries to take themselves out because they don't want to handle anything. But they don't even know the truth of it is they wouldn't handle it. If they would give it to Yah, he would be doing it for them. You should be drawing that kind of love, that kind of peace. Look, because it's our makeup. Like now I went and I go and I sit down and I eat and I relax by myself. Yeah, by myself. And I think on the goodness of Yah. I might talk to somebody, but if she keep calling or whomever, I'm not getting ready to spend my whole day talking to you. No offense. You called me the first 3 times. I don't know what more we could be talking about right now. But it's grace. I did a whole video and I'm getting ready to go on YouTube. No, 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 no. No, I didn't. It was on Facebook. I was in the grocery store and the lines were to the back of the store. And everybody looked pressured and hurry up. And they was walking around with masks on. And I'm thinking, what is happening? And he was like, you ain't gonna wear your mask? What did something happen? Is the men I'm confused. I ain't know what. Just last couple of weeks ago, wasn't nobody really? Okay, now y'all back. Okay. I kept on walking. Got to the front and it was wrapped around the store. And they conditioning people and they can't even see it. You have cars. If you're riding a bus, then you should be the only one standing in line. Or you walked. But To drive 15, 20 minutes out of the way, I would rather do that than any day stand in a line for over an hour. Put that stuff down and came out the grocery store. Folks was looking. I'm going out. One lady, your mask. I said, well, you got one on, so you should be okay. What are you worried about? What I just, you should be okay. Well, I'm trying not to get sick. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Do I look, I don't know, did I look sick or something? Excuse me. Trying to get to my car. I got in my car, drove 7 minutes out the way to another grocery store on another end, and walked right up, paid for the stuff, and came out. 2 minutes in, bought the stuff, paid for it, stood in line for 2 minutes, paid for my stuff, and was out. I was out less than 5 minutes. But the folks, I'm sure, that was standing in a line probably just now leaving up out the store from the other place. I'm going to say this to us, and I'm going to say this again. If you stay between the concrete walls, that's all you're going to see. And concrete walls represent prisons. If you're not willing to travel a little bit out the way just to see if it's the same story over there as it is over here, you are really a disadvantage to your own self. Because if they telling me that's like somebody living behind a wall, that's all they know is what's on the side of the wall where they abide. But if you should ever come out, see, that's, I really believe that's why they building a wall. So we would think that everybody else is living like we living when they decide to do whatever they're gonna do here. Not knowing that the other side of the wall, people are living their lives like they have no idea. They don't see that we back here fighting and or surviving, and they over here chilling on the beach and still having a real life. I just cannot. I can't. I'm so sorry. I paid for my stuff and I'm in my driveway. 5 minutes driving, 7 minutes out of the way. But everybody we want to be so convenient. We only want to go to the store that's like right up the street and they treating us like dirt. The dollar store right over the street and they have lines wrapped to the back of the store and only two cashiers. We gonna talk about the big place, Big W. You know the one. And they uncle next to it where you buy in bulk. Lines wrapped around. Two registers open. 12 of them empty. And we'll keep going in there. I really think that a lot of us, as I said on Facebook, we are a glutton for pain, neg- neglect, and abuse. Nobody makes you stand in these lines. Nobody make you frequent these places. Nobody make you buy nothing in these spots. We do that because we either trying to save a penny to be slapped in the face. Save a penny though. Long lines, you done spent an hour and a half in the store to save from going down the street 10 minutes out or 5 minutes out. You spent that much time in the store. Or we lazy and don't want to be inconvenienced. I don't feel like going over there. So you keep going to the same place, being treated any old kind of way. I don't understand this. And now they got a sign on the door. They had it for a while. If you are not fully, jabbed up, you should have on a mask. So people throw the mask on. How they know if you have or haven't been? You know what it is? Because you trying to show everybody and make a stand. See, I didn't do it. And the other ones are walking around like I didn't do it. Everybody trying to, why can't you just be neutral? Why does it matter? Why does anybody need to know? Whether if you are or not. I just don't understand. Ain't nobody making you do these things now, but you are doing them. You're conforming. What they said, what was you being held down or, you know, threatened? I'm trying to, I don't get it, people. I'm so confused right now. That's like if somebody told me you better have this star on your shirt or don't come up in here. if you haven't, took two of these NyQuils. Well, they don't know if I took the two NyQuils, do they? So why are you putting a stone? You targeting yourself. I don't have time to go over this. Last point I want to make. I ain't never seen folks so scared in my life like church people. Sorry, I love y'all because I've defended church people a lot of times. I have. I went toe to toe with a lady on YouTube that was like, them Christians. Her whole face got ugly, saying Christian. And I wrote and said, every Christian is not worldly. Every Christian is not, deceived. I was in a Christian church and the father called me out of worship and, doing pagan worship while I was right in the pews. I didn't celebrate Christmas or anything. I didn't eat pork. Wasn't about that. That wasn't a desire for me. He was calling me to his commandments even then. So you can kind of see a pattern. So you can't talk about, you don't know when the father is going to call them out, but he could have already been introducing them to the way he would choose for them to live. He had to woo them out just like he did you. Nah, them Christians. But I'm now at this place. I don't have no hatred. I'm not mad at you. I feel disappointed if you're still in certain places listening to certain things. I can point you out. I could spot you in a heartbeat without you wearing your, what would Jesus do t-shirt or having on your Dove bracelet or bumper sticker. I already know who you are because the moment anybody say anything to you about what's going on right now with this variant, you be the first one that you're gonna pull your mask up to your eyebrows, full of fear. Well, you go to gotta have five senses. But then I don't know how many masks will help you cover your raggedy lifestyle. hmm Fornicating, smoking, drinking, lying, cheating, adultery, idols. You don't think about that sickness, do you? But you want a mask for this out here. But what about what you do and you willingly do it? I don't never even hear anybody be as protective of themselves regarding syphilis, gonorrhea, AIDS, herpes, any of that. You go out and sleep with folks that you met at a club on a one night stand, but you got a mask double tucked behind your ears, a turtleneck pulled up, and some plastic gloves on, and some Clorox wipes. Just going in the grocery store because you handled a buggy, but would sleep with a complete stranger with no protection, shouldn't be with them no way, but don't even do that. And ain't got no fear for that. Or how about putting stuff in your body that you know could cause problems? Drinking a gallon of RC, Coke, Dr. Pepper, all of these things. And then when they threatening you with diabetes, but you don't think about none of that. Over there eating greasy fried chickens and pork chops. And then when they talk about heart surgery, you don't think about none of this. No, but the moment they spread is something that you can't even see. Isn't it something when somebody would say, you don't know if you could have no symptoms. I'd be a little suspicious of that. So you mean to tell me something so deadly, I might not even have any symptoms. Huh? So so wait, something so deadly that people can't breathe and drop dead, they ain't gotta have no symptoms. What? Ah, people. But the Father said he'd give over a strong delusion. So I can't. I'm not gonna be able to shake it. Why? Because they wouldn't believe no truth in the first place. So you just turned them over to a worse one. So it's nothing people can say. As I said on YouTube, I'm not casting pearl no more. People don't want to believe. They don't have to. They think I'm too harsh. Okay. And the other part is I'm not gonna be going around here answering folks. Don't walk up to me no more asking me if did I take the okey pokey? None of your business. Do I ask you? Don't ask me how old I am. None of your business. Don't ask me anything personal. Um, yeah, is the your grandbaby do her father come around? Is that your business? I learned that people can walk up and ask you whatever they want to ask you, but let you talk about something dealing with faith. Oh man, you better look out. It is what it is. Keep humble, stay strong, lift up the shield, the banner, and keep your sword erect. And I'm going to say this, take no prisoners, not one. You ain't taking nobody along that don't want to walk upright. The Bible says punish anything that does not line up with the word. Punish those imaginations. So we ain't got time to be taking no prisoners. I ain't trying to have nothing linger with me that's not talking about the way y'all spoke in this word. Hey, may goodness and mercy follow you all